Okay, gentlemen, welcome to another shir. So today, the question we're going to be discussing is as follows. Obviously, this is a question that I get quite often, but I actually recently got the question again, and I figured why not spend a few minutes discussing it. And it's a very basic and fundamental question to what we're all doing every day. The question is, what is so significant and important about the Talmud Bavli? Why is it that Jews around the world, working Jews, Torah scholars, yeshiva students, and even right here in Ohr Somayach, spend a significant time of the learning portion of the day, depending on what they're doing, but at least the learning portion of the day, studying Talmud Bavli? It's in the frum world, in the religious Jewish world, it's almost an obsession, right? People come home from work, and they're very tired, and they spent hours, doing what they do in their business. And they come home and they have a chavrusa, they have a daf yomi, and even more so, the yeshiva students or the kola guys who are sitting the whole day, basically hours and hours and hours every single day studying Talmud Bavli. So very simply, what is the obsession and the importance? And it's not only that it's something that we're doing in this generation. This has been traditionally done, where the Talmud Bavli is the source and the focus and the spirit of the entire Jewish world. So a simple question, but I think it's something that we ought to go through from the beginning to understand what it is. So really, to understand it, we have to go all the way back to something that's relevant actually to this week's parsha. The verse in the end of the last verses in the end of the Chumash regarding the creation. Right? So we have day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, and everyone knows day 6. And how does the Chumash start on day 6? Yoim Hashishi. In the end of the 6th day, Yoim Hashishi. Vaychulu Hashemayim v'aretz. It was the 6th day, and Hashem finished what He was going to do with the world. Vaychulu Hashemayim v'aretz, finished creating heaven and earth. And the Gemara asks, why does it say Yom HaShishi, the end of the 6th day? Every other day it says Yom Rishon, Yom Sheni. Only by the 6th day it says Yom HaShishi. So the question is, why does it say Yom HaShishi? So it's Rashi says, because Hashem said, everything I am creating, everything I've created from day 1 till day 6, till the end of day 6, is created on a condition. What is the condition? That the Jews accept the Torah. When? On the 6th day of Sivan. So Yom HaShishi is not talking about the 6th day of the days of creation, but it's actually referring to the 6th day of Sivan, which is the day that Hashem gave the Torah in this week's parsha, actually. So why did it say Yom HaShishi? It was the 6th day to allude to the 6th day of Sivan. And Rashi says, in order to make a condition with everything, of all reality, if the Jews accept the Torah on the 6th day of Sivan, good. And if not, no world. Everything is gone. So, part and parcel of the condition of reality is that Jews study Torah. Now the question is, why? Right? What is it so significant about that? So let's go to the end of that paragraph. And everyone knows we say it on Kiddush Friday night, right? And at the end of the paragraph, the last words of creation is Asher bara Elokim lasos. Right? Asher bara Elokim lasos. So what does it mean that Hashem created lasos? To do. What does that mean? Asher bara Elokim lasos, right? Right? Asher bara Elokim lasos. So, an explanation is given that at the end of creation, after everything's said and done, God created everything. Asher bara Elokim, God created everything la'asos, for us to do with it. Meaning that in the end of the day, everything in creation and everything that God did in the past 6 days is now, He gave us everything in the world, everything is here in its basic form. And it is our job to use it to develop, to use it to create, to use it to build. God didn't just create a world so that we should do nothing. God didn't just create everything in this world so we should just sit around and do nothing. Our purpose and our job in the world is lasos, to do, to be a partner with Hashem. Hashem made all the base material, everything in creation, and it is our job to develop it. This is not the Jews' job, this is the job of humanity. Of all humanity to build and create and develop the world. Buildings, governments, systems, everything. It's our job to take what God gave us and develop it. Now, we know in reality there are two parts. There's the physical part of reality, like I just said, building houses, bridges, communities. And there's also the spiritual part of reality. What's the spiritual part of reality? Everything that energizes and allows the physical part of reality to exist. So basically you have Hashem, and Hashem of course runs everything, and Hashem is upkeeping everything. What we see in the physical is what we notice, what we see, what we perceive. But the mechanism that this world is continuously running, and that the physical is able to stand, and the physical is able to run, the energy, the gas of reality, even of the physical, is the spiritual component that we can't see. Now, who is expected and how is it expected to come down to this world? The spiritual energy. The physical we have here, and it's the job of the entire world to develop that. But whose job is it to bring primarily the spiritual energy to keep the world going? Of course, that is the job primarily of the Jew. Okay? So we have everyone is expected to be partners in creation. That's the job of all human beings. Everyone is expected to work in this world and develop this world. But there's an extra component to the Jew, not only to work in the physical, but also to work in the spiritual. Now, just as the physical part of reality has the base materials, right? Hashem put into reality wood, Hashem put into reality stone, and all the different things that we use to build and create and make better. There's also base material, as if to say, in the spiritual world. What's the base material of the spiritual world? Tanakh. Hashem gave us Torah, and in a certain way, Nevi'im and Kesuvim. This is the base material of all spiritual reality. All spiritual energy, everything that could come from the spiritual part of reality is the Tanakh. This is what it says, Hashem gave us the Torah. Hashem directly handed us the Torah, especially the 5 books of Moses, the Chamisha Chumshei Torah. But just like in physical reality, Hashem expected us to be partners, to take the base and develop it and create it and try to find science to make it better. He did the same thing in the spiritual realm. He gave us the base material of everything. This is the Chumash, the Tanakh. But he expected us to be partners with him. Now it's your job. Build it, develop it, mine it, make it better, try to find ways to explain it in better ways, define it, all these different things that we're doing. This is our part of the partnership in the spiritual realm. And this is what Hashem gave us, because this is what it says, Hashem gave us the Torah. Hashem said, here, take it. This is yours. Now build it. Now develop it. The same way He gave us a world and said, now build it, now develop it. As it says, Zelu Mazeh, that we have a physical world, we have a spiritual world. It's the same thing. And the spiritual world is what allows us to be part and parcel of the creation of the spiritual energy coming down to this world. So now, we understand what's so important. We understand what's so important about learning Torah. And what is so important about learning Torah is that this is the spiritual energy, that this is the way to uphold reality. As we said, Yom HaShishi, Hashem says the only way that reality is going to continue to exist is if we accept the Torah and study the Torah. Why is it that way? Because that is what brings energy down to this world to give the gas and the energy for reality to exist. What is the best way to do that? What is our way to do that, to show partnership in that? What is our connection to that? Talmud Bavi. By looking into the Chumash, by developing the Chumash, by understanding the different laws. And this is what it means, again, according to my understanding, this is what it means, Talmud Torah Keneged Kulam. We know the famous statement, Talmud Torah Keneged Kulam. Against everything in the world, against all of reality, the Torah is the highest. And a lot of people ask the question, why? There are surely more important things, or maybe more important things, doing kindness, doing mitzvahs, you're going to tell me a guy learning a Pasuk Chumash is more important than a person putting up a beautiful building? How could that be? There's a lot of good things you could do in this world, other than studying a Pasuk Chumash, other than studying a Mishnah. But the idea of Keneged Kulam doesn't mean only that it's not about if it's equal. It's about that all of reality is sustained. The only way that building is sustained, the only way that building can continue to stand is because of the Talmud Torah that's being learned. So what's more important in the car, the beautiful exterior or the engine, or the gas? What's more important? Well, without the gas, you got nothing. So you would say that the most important part of the car perhaps is the gas and the engine. Perhaps. Because without it, nothing. You have a beautiful exterior, leather seats, everything you could imagine, but nothing to run it. So Talmud Torah Keneged Kulam means that everything we see, the whole reality, everything we're observing in this world is being sustained and energized and empowered by our Torah. And this is what the verse says, Ner mitzvah v'Torah ar. Torah is the ar. Ar doesn't only mean the light, but it means the spiritual energy that energizes everything that we know and see. Now, why is it that, how does this work? We're going to speak about this for a few minutes. How does this work that the study of Torah suddenly has this magic? What is so important about the study of Torah that has this magic to energize the world? So the basic idea is that Hashem created a world. But the deepest part of his desire, how he wanted to express his desire in this world, was the Torah. Meaning that the physical expression of the world is what we see, everything around us, stones, bricks, metal. But what is his desire of how the world should run? What is his user's manual? The Torah. Now what does the Torah mean? The Torah is the will and desire of Hashem. Now when I am sitting in this world with my physical brain, my physical body, and I am studying Hashem's desire, it's as if I'm plugging myself in as a conduit to Hashem. Because my mind and my head could be doing a million things. What it's trying to do is connect to Hashem's desire. It's trying to connect to Hashem's desire. This is plugging me literally into Hashem. But not only into, as if to say, a little part of Hashem or whatever. It's plugging me into the desire of Hashem, the deepest essence of Hashem, that He wanted to reveal to us in this world. So when I am studying Torah, I am literally plugging myself into Hashem, and now I'm in this world, and I'm plugged into this world, and I'm bringing down all that spiritual energy. So it's a very, very deep thing. When you're learning, we're learning Al-Cheskes Abatim, when you're learning these laws about the 3 years, and there's a macha, and they're arguing, and they're not arguing, shalai b'fanav, all these different things, chazaka shricha taina. Okay, so you think you're talking about real estate, and we're talking about legalities, and we're talking about laws of if a shar and hurts a person, hurts another animal. That's not the point. The point is that this is all the expression of Hashem's desire in this world. And it all matters. It makes no difference if we're talking about Rosh Hashanah, we're talking about Shabbos, we're talking about legal laws, we're talking about the Haggadah or Gemaras. It makes no difference. It's all plugging yourself in with your mind. The most powerful thing you have is your mind, and plugging it into Hashem's mind, as if to say, and being a conduit for the energy, the spiritual energy, to come to this world to sustain it. And without that, we learn that the world cannot exist. Without plugging this world into, as if to say Hashem, Kaviyachol, this world cannot exist. And that is what the study of Torah is doing. And this is what it means, the famous idea, perhaps we could say, of studying Torah Lishma. What is the famous idea of studying Torah Lishma? You've heard that idea of learning Torah for the reason itself. The idea is that Hashem wants us, His greatest desire is that we should be partners in reality. We should be partners to create the world. We should be partners to continue the world. We should be partners to build the world. We should be partners to sustain the world spiritually. And this is what it means to study Torah for the right reason. Torah Lishma means studying it for its sake. Its sake meaning to do the desire of Hashem, to connect to Hashem and to study the words. To connect to Hashem by studying the words, by studying His desire. And if I'm doing it for that reason, if I'm doing it because I want to be a partner with Hashem, I want to do my job in this world, I want to be part of the sustainability of the world, I want to be part of the energy coming down to this world, I want to be a conduit for all the power coming down to this world, that is what it means to study Torah Lishma. So, as opposed to studying it because I want to be smarter, or I want to be able to understand this world in a deeper way, or because I want to be able to use it so people should call me rabbi, or people should think I'm smart, or any other reason you could think of. The real reason why Hashem created us and wanted us to study Torah in this world is so that we should be partners with Him in building and sustaining reality. And there is no deeper way to do this than the study of the Talmud Bavli. Because the Talmud Bavli is not just Hashem gave us a Torah, study it. That's Chumash. The Talmud Bavli is our portion of the partnership. It's what we created, it's what we built, it's what we mined in the study of the Chumash. And when we study Talmud Bavli, we are showing Hashem, and we are showing Hashem, we are building with Hashem. We're building our part of the world. We're doing our purpose. We're doing our tachlis in the deepest way. And there is nothing greater that we could do in this world. Because like we said, the entire world is contingent on the study of Torah. And the entire purpose of the world is contingent on people being partners with Hashem. And of course, we have a dual job as Jews. We have a job to develop the world physically, and we have a job to develop the world spiritually. But when we're developing this job, when we're developing the world spiritually, we're doing our unique purpose, our neshama's unique purpose and value in this world. And there are many ways to do it. You could do mitzvahs, you keep Shabbos, there's many ways to do it. But the deepest way to do it, the highest way to do it in a way, is the study of Torah. Because the study of Torah is energizing everything. Like we said, Talmud Torah Keneged Kulam. The study of Torah energizes everything, more than anything else. So in that way, we are doing our purpose, in the deepest and most fundamental way. And why is this the deepest and most fundamental way? Because this is our portion of what we added. We took what Hashem gave us, and we built on it. We developed it. We undertook to make it more usable and more relatable, and develop it for our reality. And of course, the Talmud Bavli comes with it, the Rishonim and the Achronim and everything that's discussed after that. And this is how we live in this world. This is what we're doing in this world. So when a person studies Talmud Bavli, there is no greater feeling. There is no greater enjoyment, because you are literally doing your life's purpose in the deepest and most impressive way. And this is why, again, it takes time. Sometimes it's hard to tap into it. Sometimes it's more difficult to really appreciate it. But as you see, thousands and thousands of people around the world, whether they're Torah students a whole day, whether they're workers that spend a lot of time at work and come home at night, they become obsessed with this thing. Every day a page Gemara. Every day let's get it. Every day let's learn a little bit more. Let's hear another shir. Let's have a chavrusa. Even here in our Sameach, guys come, and we say right away, get into it. Why? Because there's nothing else that you could be doing in this world that will have as big of an impact. And when you're doing something that has such a big impact, your neshama will feel it. And the proof is in the pudding. 50 years we're sitting here, guys come in knowing very minimal, or sometimes more, sometimes less. And maybe it takes a little bit of time, but they get into the Talmud Bavli, and they start feeling something. They start appreciating something. They start feeling alive. And they can't even explain it. How many times, guys, I can't explain why. I can't explain from what. This stuff didn't matter to me even a few months ago. This stuff wouldn't matter to me at all. Now, I can't explain why, but this is the most important thing in the world to me. The next line of Gemara. And they're going to sit there with the words and spend hours and hours trying to figure out one line at a time, another line at a time, another line at a time. It doesn't make sense. Do you really care if a guy has a house for 3 years? Should he get it? Should he not get it? Should the rabbis give it back to him? Should the rabbis not give it back to him? Do you really care? Do you really care about that? The answer is that probably not so much as far as the outcome. But there's something you feel. You feel this is real. You feel you're doing something. What are you doing? You're being a partner with Hashem, which is the purpose of reality. And you're connecting to Hashem in the deepest way by being His partner. In the deepest way possible, through the study of the Talmud Bavli, our addition, our part in the Torah. And there's no words that could express how that works. There's no words you can tell someone it feels amazing, it's unbelievable, because you have to feel it. Because when a person is doing his purpose, and a person is contributing in the way that he was created to contribute, then he'll feel great. And even if you're also participating in the second part of reality, which is the physical part of reality, and that's great too. Hashem needs that also. That's not to be pushed aside. It's very important. Hashem Baruch Hu says everything should be built. You still feel the need after a long day work. You're developing real estate. You spent hours and hours building up buildings in Manhattan. You come home at night. You learn a block of Gemara. I need both. I don't feel fulfilled with just the physical. Why not? You just put up buildings. You just did this. You made $1 million. You did all this stuff. You need to learn a block of Gemara. What is that helping you? Because I only feel fulfilled when I'm doing my purpose. And that purpose is to build the physical of the world, but as a Jew, also the spiritual of the world. And if I don't plug myself into Hashem, I don't add to making this world a more spiritual place. I don't add to sustaining reality, which is my purpose. I feel empty. I don't feel good. And there's millions of testimonials of people saying, if I didn't learn or I stopped learning for a little bit, I didn't feel the same. And when I started learning, I felt like $1 million. All the money in the world, I didn't feel the way I feel from one blot of Gemara. So, this is the reason why, Rabbi, the world obsesses about the Talmud Bavli, and this is the reason why in our Somayach, we of course put the newcomers and we try to get you tapped into that as soon as possible. Rabbi Shiller, Zatzal, Rosh Yeshiva, used to say all the time that when a Jew's neshama learns Talmud Bavli, his soul taps in to Nitzchias. His soul taps into the eternity of reality. And there's no other feeling in the world that can counter that. And the minute he feels that, he's hooked. And that's why our Somayach learns Talmud. That's why our Somayach, the first thing we're going to do is try to get you hooked onto that. Because all the other stuff we're going to do, possibly, is just going to be a little dose of feeling, a little dose of Torah, a little dose of mitzvah. But when you tap into that Torah, even in the most minimal level, you're plugged in. And you feel it. And this is a statement that says, again, it's not from the Talmud, but it's a statement that said, the power plant of reality is in the mind of the Torah scholar. All of reality's power, all of reality's spiritual energy, which again empowers the entire world, is in the heart and mind of the Torah scholar. Because he's the one who's being the conduit to bring Hashem's energy down to the world, in a way, and in the deepest way. So, I just wanted to, perhaps with this, explain an interesting Gemara. A very interesting Gemara. There's actually two Gemaras. Maybe I'll just do one. The Gemara basically in Sanhedrin asks, it makes a statement, Adam la'amal yulad. Man was created to work. And the Gemara asks a very interesting question. Is the work that a man is supposed to do work of the mouth, amal b'peh, or amal b'malacha? Working hard with physical work. So what is the work of the mouth? So the basic understanding is the Torah. What's physical work? Physical work. What type of question is that? What's more important, the study of Torah or physical work? What type of question is that? Adam la'amal yulad. A person was created to work. What type of question is that? Was a man created to work, to build buildings, or was a man created to study Torah? We're talking about Jews here. What I was created to put up a building? Doesn't make any sense. What's the question of the Gemara? Of course, the Gemara answer is based on the pasuk that it's to study the Torah. But what was the Hava meaning? What was the initial idea that a Jew was created to put up buildings, to make bridges? No, says the Gemara. No, really, the job of the Jew is to study Torah. According to this, it's very obvious. Hashem made a reality, and as we said, the purpose of reality, Asher bar lekim lasais, is in order to be partners with Hashem. And there are two ways to partner up with God. Either by building the physical world, which Hashem clearly wants. He created a whole world. He wants it to be developed. He wants it to be built up. He wants buildings. He wants bridges. He wants societies. He wants homes. And there's a second thing, the spiritual upkeep of the world, which is also very important in order to sustain and bring down the spiritual energy that Hashem wants in this world. Hashem wants this world to be a physical place, a spiritual place. But the question could be asked, at the end of the day, which one is more important? Which one was man created to do? Because it could be that the main focus is to build the world, and happens to be that the spiritual energy that comes into it is what sustains it. Like with the car. In order for a car to run, you need an engine. You need gas. But at the end of the day, what's the purpose of the car? So I could sit in it to get from place to place. The engine and the gas is maybe very, very important. But the purpose is that there has to be a car in order for me to get from place to place. So maybe Hashem really wanted that this world should be developed and this world should be a place, and the spiritual energy is what runs it. Or we could say the other way, that the purpose of the whole physical world, the purpose of everything we see, all the buildings, all the infrastructure, everything we see, is only so there should be a place for the Torah to be developed. A house for the spirituality of God. A home for where spirituality could flourish. So not like the car. It would be the example, the purpose of the car would be the engine. The purpose of reality is so there's a place for the Torah to be used, to be utilized in its highest form, to bring the glory of Hashem down to the world. So you could have the side to say that maybe the glory of Hashem is being brought down, that there's a beautiful world, there's an amazing world, there's a world full of unbelievable phenomenons, and our development of this is very, very important, and it shows great godliness. There's another side to say that no, it's really the spiritual energy that's running through the world that's really important. And everything we see is just a place so that the spiritual energy could be expressed in its greatest way. And again, how is that? Because you have a bunch of people here sitting, and there's a whole world. So now that there's a whole world, we have a reality to talk about. A house, an owner. The owner left his house, somebody else moved in. Now that someone else moved in, if he lived there for 3 years, can he stay, can he not stay? Without a world, we'd have no way to express this. So is the Torah here to explain to us how to live in the world? Or is the world here to explain to us and develop the ideals and values of the Torah? And this is the Gemara's question. Adam la'amal yulad, a person was created to build, to work. Was he created to develop the world? And the reason for the world is that there should be a world, and the Torah is just the guidebook of how to use it? Or is the purpose of the world that there should be a world in order so that now there should be a place where the Torah could actually be expressed and done and utilized in its greatest manner? And again, the Gemara comes out. No, Gemara comes out that the most important thing, the purpose of the world, as the verse says, that the covenant of the world, the whole reason why I created Shemayim v'aretz, is for the Torah. So everything we see in reality, everything we perceive, every building, every store, every monument, everything we see, every car, every piece of technology, is really only here to be a seat for the ideals and values of the Torah. And really to be a place where Hashem's glory could shine in its most unbelievable manner. Which again, the values of the Torah is the desire of God. And without a world, there is no real way to express Hashem's desire. So the whole purpose of the world is a place and a way that the Hashem's desire can be expressed. And when we're studying it, and we're obsessing over it, and we're spending hours working on it, we have to realize that we are doing the entire purpose of the world, more than anyone ever can. And that's why we spend time with it, and that's why we feel great when we do it, because there's no other greater feeling in the world than bringing Hashem's glory down to this world and doing the entire purpose of creation in that way, and fulfilling the entire purpose of creation in that way. Asher bar lekim lasis. It is our job to be partners with creation. It's our job to be partners with reality, to build reality, to be partners with Hashem in building reality, both the physical and the spiritual. And the greatest way to develop the spiritual is through the Talmud Bavli, because that is our part of the partnership. And when we do that, and we develop it, and we obsess about it, and we think about it, and we are Isaac in it, there is nothing greater that we could do to this world, to bring Hashem's spirit down into the depths of all of reality.